Welcome back to Shop Talk Week 3. This is our second video this week, and we are in this one going to talk a little bit about what we expect from the upcoming, highly anticipated Civil War. As always, I'm Jeff.
This is Nick.
And I gotta say, man, this Civil War for me is deeply, ingrained in even just the fact that ACC exists. Because Civil War for me was the one book that really kind of brought me into comics. And so this movie for me is something that I'm super excited about, and I am aware that because Marvel doesn't have the rights to the FF or the X-Men, that it's not going to be like a tit for tat remake of the book because Reed Richards isn't in this, Wolverine's not in this, both play relatively big parts in the overall storyline. The whole backstory with Spider-Man isn't going to be it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be as in depth.
That part.
Well, it can't be the same because in Spider-Man's storyline at that time was Straczynski was on ASM. He was married, which for all intents and purposes, Tom Holland looks like he's like 12 years old. So I don't think there's going to be a married MJ. And for me, that dynamic was a huge part of Civil War because that was kind of like the catalyst.
And mostly Spider-Man was an adult, but at the same time, I feel like there are some aspects they could add. Like I guess that with Spider-Man being just get into the universe or just almost being there for a while and such, I'm sure that they can find a way to reveal himself. But I'm sort of like the same way with you. Like, there's no way.
I just don't think it's going to make as big of an impact because, like in the book, he's just say like 33 years old or whatever. He's an average man age. He's married. He has his Aunt May. He's got a life. And so when he chooses to reveal, he chooses to register, it's a big deal because he has a life and it affects his life. Now with Tom Holland, I'm not saying he doesn't have a life, but he's 13, 14-year-old kid, whatever he is.
16-year-old.
Right. He still has his Aunt May, but I mean, the repercussions of a career, a wife, people to protect, enemies you've built over decades versus it's not really believable to think this kid has built enemies up over decades. They got to be thinking that this kid basically is new in town. And so the moment of him revealing who he is not, in my opinion, either going to be in the movie or if it is, it can't be nearly as impactful because it's a different arc of story in those characters' lives.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean the movie can't be great.
No, the movie, from reviews where I've been hearing, and I'm not going to try to tell you anything.
No spoilers. No spoilers here.
You, but from what everybody's been saying from the reviews, it's like
2 thumbs up. Good.
But another thing that will not be in the movie will, like you said, the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, which made a big controversy because the whole point was it's a registration trying to get all the heroes, the Avengers, or anybody who to register with the government so that the government would tell them when to save lives or who to save lives.
It's all about assigning responsibility, assigning blame, being able to say...
Because there's no... And you gotta remember, the thing that started the Civil War in the comic books was mainly a mutant who blew up...
Nitro, who
just blew up the whole...
Stanford, Connecticut.
Yeah.
Right.
And killed children. And,
right. Which, for me, the entirety of the book of Civil War, whether you want to talk about the origins in Stanford, Connecticut, you want to talk about Spider-Man as far as him being a catalyst for hero registration, you want to talk about the nuanced difference between Punisher and Captain America and how they both are on the same side, but they're on very different planes.
Yeah, because...
Or the ending. I mean... The entire thing was done and executed beautifully. Yes. The whole story, whether it was Straczynski's parts or Millar's parts or anybody's part of that story of the whole crossover, it went together beautifully. Everything made sense, and they utilized almost the entirety of the Marvel universe, with the exception, I think, of Hulk and then Thor, who's kind of used as in a clone.
Yeah, but have you ever seen Marvel Ultimate? Have you ever played Marvel Ultimate Alliance?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that was based on Civil War.
Of course, yeah.
And I feel like, and that's another thing that won't be in Civil War will be the villains, because the main, like all the villains that you saw, like Green Goblin or Bullseye.
Yeah, you're not going to see.
They're not going to be in it.
A Thunderbolt, Suicide Squad type of, hero roundup bad guy that are now good guy task force. You're probably not going to see that.
Yeah, because this will be a 3-part movie.
Right. I think all you're going to get is you're going to get a And I'm not saying this isn't going to be a good thing, but you're going to get a much more watered down version of Civil War comparatively with what the comics have. So I'm not saying it's not going to be good, but it's obvious. I mean, there's a whole different story arc that they're following on the heels of Winter Soldier, on the heels of Age of Ultron, on the heels of Avengers 1. So it can't be the same as the book because they haven't began telling the same story as the book.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be great. I can't wait. We got free screening passes, which if you guys caught the last video, we talked about those, and it's going to be amazing. We're going to be there early. We're going to catch it on Tuesday, and we'll have plenty of content about our thoughts about it in the weeks to follow. Probably won't give you guys any kind of spoiler stuff for at least 2 to 3 weeks after the movie because, you know, we're not bad guys. But we'll definitely get you some info. Don't do it. Stay away from Nick on Twitter. Stay away from him on Instagram. He's going to spoil the
And
whole thing.
Tumblr.
Anyway, so that's it for Bite Size 2 of Shop Talk this week. We'll be back with another one shortly. Take it easy.